Well, it's the first day of fall. There was ice on the windshield this morning for the first time this year. It's 7 a.m. I'm at the launch and it's just barely getting light. Just noticed a waterfall coming off of a cliff. I'm trying to get a better view of it, but it's kind of creepy in the woods when it's dark. It's just spectacular here. We got a cliff over here, beautiful pink sky, pink morning, and then the waterfall. This is well worth the little side trip here. And this waterfall cascades down a good 100 feet like this. First cast at the outlet. Oh, just lost it. There's a little pike. There he is. There you go. Well, it's a bit of a shame to have to rush through Hare Lake here because it's really just gorgeous. But my destination lake for this weekend is Bamoose Lake. I'm trying to get up Bamoose Creek here, up into Bamoose Lake. This is on the Avenza Maps app. And it's supposed to be probably not possible, or at least an extreme level of difficulty to get in here in the summer. It's really a winter access lake for snowmobilers, so I'm gonna give it a whirl. Might not work out, but if it does, it's supposed to be a spectacular trout lake on the other end, so nothing to lose. It is way too cold for this. The water's already freezing. Well, this could be the end of the road. I can't get through here. I'm gonna have to try and bushwhack, but right beyond there I can see a nice waterfall. Looks beautiful. Looks like it keeps on going. Scouted it to the other end and it looks doable, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to have to clear a trail. There is a bit of a footpath here, but it might just be a game trail. Anyway, it's something to build off of, but got to do about 200 meters of clearing here to get through. That's more like it. Nothing like clearing trails on a cool fall day. I'm trying out these new little stretchy cords. Rob, thanks for the suggestion, to hold my fishing rod. It's so awkward to get it through this stuff. So that should be really nice. Should have done that a long time ago. Whew, that was rough. Took a long time too, so it's gonna be late getting to camp. If I can get there, that is. Still only probably a third of the way to Bamoose. 2.5 kilometers between the lakes. Paddled for 100 meters, another small waterfall. Hoping I can just get around it there. Slippery here. Don't like this. Oh, I saw that coming. Oh. There's nothing I could do there. This is a terrible place to get up. It's just slippery rock. Can't even take a step forward here. Okay. Oh. That was not ideal. I'm loving this though. This is so nice. Frees up my hand. It's great. Scouted ahead again, and it becomes impossible to continue wading, but thankfully again there's another semblance of a footpath on the east side of the river, the creek. Canoe is up there. Let's bring it back down here, and there's this little trail, and it's just alder in here, so it snaps easily, cuts easily, but it's just dense. It's gonna take a while to clear this. This one was quite a bit longer, probably half a kilometer. It's cleared, moving on. This is more what I had in mind. This is beautiful creek paddling, wide wetland and hills in the distance. But I'm still only 2/3 of the way to Vamoose, so I don't think I'm out of the woods yet, literally. This was another fairly long one, and probably the most overgrown yet. Almost through though. Well, I got very confused after this past portage. Finally found where I need to go. Got tired of waiting, so I went back on land, scouted a path ahead, and I am ecstatic to say that I'm at Vamoose, and it is spectacular. There is an island out there with a big cliff on it, which I cannot wait to see up close. My gear, my canoe are not here, they're in the river still. I was tired of wading them up through rocks, So gotta get them back up here. Should be about half a kilometer. Can't wait to get set up here. There is an abandoned canoe here and it needs a little bit of work, but with some love, I think it's still serviceable. Just got my tetanus shot again a few days ago, so I can play on this rusty canoe all I want. Just got slashed across the eye with a branch. Not the first time today, but it was the worst. That's why it's a good idea to wear glasses when you're clearing. It feels so good to be here. That took 8 hours between lakes. An hour on Hare Lake, just messing around. And then 8 hours to connect the two lakes. It's the most effort I've ever put into connecting two lakes. I'm very hungry, tired, and thirsty, so I'm gonna make camp as soon as possible. Gorgeous cliffs. There are two big islands on this lake and they both shoot up precipitously. Pretty unusual. Struggling to find a site here because it's also rugged. I'd really like to though, because the rain is starting to pick up. Just spitting at this point. Here we go! Rain is really picking up, so is the wind. I'm getting cold fast. Oh man, this poor sand's gonna go down good. There's nothing like eating after you put in a grueling day with only a few snacks. Did not notice this widowmaker looming right over my tent, but it feels solid enough. It's after 6 o'clock now. Everything's done. I can finally get in the tent and get warm. My bear hang is set up and ready to go. I'll come out later and hang that. And that's saying something in the boreal forest. It's hard to find bear hangs. I pee on trees high up or near my site. It's something I got out of a Survivor Man episode. I figure the higher you pee, the taller and bigger of an animal you seem like, so worth a shot. So despite that I wanted to become a dedicated hammock sleeper, I'm in the tent. It would have been too cold in the hammock. This spring I got the Thermarest Neo Air. It's a perfectly fine mattress. I am not complaining about it. I just have something with my back. Anyway, I got this little attachment to inflate it. I quite like it. It was 15 bucks for this tiny chunk of plastic, which is a joke, but anyway, it was worth it. Gets clean, dry air into the bag instead of your breath, which is moist. Just latches on. Like so. And then you poke it through any old bag. Could be a garbage bag, whatever. Kind of fluff it up like this. Roll the top like a dry bag. And then just squeeze all that air into it. And about 5 of these, and it's inflated. While I'm on the topic of sleeping, a couple years ago, Kevin Callan put out a video where he indicated that he puts his drop sheet on the inside of the tent. And I finally conceded that I think he's correct. When you put it underneath, water, the wind, I guess, blows mist under it. It sits, it goes through your tent, and your stuff gets wet. When you have this on top of your tent, I think it's actually providing more waterproofness. Of course, I think the real idea of a drop sheet is to protect the bottom of your tent from branches and twigs, things that are going to poke through your tent. But I don't really care about that anymore. It's an old tent. It's gotten good 5 years of use. I'd rather just be dry. So I'm putting this on the inside of my tent now. Last thing. Once you've taken your clothes out of your dry bag, if you have lots of air in it and then roll it tight, it will eventually deflate, but for a while it provides a nice headrest. I'm just going to read a book for a while, so it's nice to elevate your head like that. I'm finally bundled up fully, ready to read for a while until I fall asleep, which probably won't be long. Hopefully I can sleep through the 12 hours of darkness that is ahead of me. A little scotch might help. This sweater is incredibly warm. It's polyester on the inside, the lining, and the exterior is thick wool, and it's got to be the warmest thing I own. I think it's warmer than my winter coat. It's fantastic. I can feel my body temperature rising within minutes. Well, I couldn't seem to wake up this morning, so it's almost 9 o'clock, and that means I have very little time to enjoy this lake, so I gotta get back out of here. My body was just too stiff to wake up this morning from yesterday, and now gotta do it all again. Feeling like this may have been a little bit much for an overnight trip, but definitely wishing I had more time on this trip. This lake is amazing. I gotta fish here for at least an hour before I head out though. I need to see what the trout situation's like. There's supposed to be brookies and lakers in here. Well, we got the first snow of the year. It's pretty cool. It works its way up the hills. At a certain level, there's like a distinct cutoff. I'll show you. Fish on. Exactly where I was trying to get to, too, between the two big islands. Laker. Pretty. Whoa! Oh, jeez. There he goes. Nice dark laker. Just look at the scenery. I don't even know if it'll show up as well on camera, but it is gorgeous. Another one, still in between the islands, but now on the leeward side. Whoa, whoa, whoa! He wasn't fighting at all, and then sees the boat and does that. That's the lake trout way. When a lake has two big islands and you can fish between them, it's usually a good idea. Just had another one, same size. First one was on this deep Berkeley flicker minnow, and the last two just been letting this kamuki, what do they call it, smart fish, whatever they call it, anyway, letting it fall to bottom, rip, pause, easy fishing so far. Just pulling into a little beach here for lunch, and got this plane. Two planes. Cool. Really small laker. Anyway, my My hands are just too cold and beat up to clean a fish right now, so I think I'll let them go. They are such a beautiful little fish. This little beach would have made an excellent campsite. There's a beaver lodge over there. Spectacular views. Nice gravelly beach. And it looks like the beaver's been dragging something through this well-worn game trail. Anyway, gonna have lunch here. It's a shockingly well-worn path. And it has to be a beaver or something because it goes under low branches like this. Comes up into this clearing where I got some birch bark. Splits off in a couple directions into the woods. I don't really picture a beaver going up there. I don't know. A huge spruce like this is always going to have some nice dry wood near the bottom. Sure feels good to have this fire. It's not too warm out. What a spectacular lake. One of the most beautiful I've been to. Back at the portage. Stinks to leave this place, but I'll be back. Almost back to the halfway point, back to Hare Lake, and back in this little stretch. It's about 300 meters, which is the longest continuous paddling of the stretch between the two lakes. And it sure makes you appreciate it. It's really beautiful. waterfall. Almost there. As I was coming through here, this branch snapped back and this just lightly poked me in the back of the neck. Felt exactly like a human poke. Scared the daylights out of me. Finally back to Hare Lake. It's quite a relief, to be honest. These are 36 of the toughest hours I've ever put in. Now for a little fishing on the way back and a little reward.